XRP is at the most critical point. We've got the biggest crypto traders diving into the XRP ecosystem, potentially expecting more than $500 per coin. I want to also cover the national debt hitting complete all-time highs and why that will be bullish for XRP, the secret behind XRP's ledger's strengths, the overall greed and fear index, plus why so many people are still hating on XRP, but I don't believe they should. Why some Donald Trump news for the US economy is also bullish for XRP. Why XRP is undervalued. Some more altcoin season index information. And one of the biggest ecosystems underneath the XRP network actually signing some huge deals with Apple. Not going to waste any more time. Let's jump into the first piece of news here. James Wynn, if you know, he's one of the top traders right now during this cycle, literally up hundreds of millions of dollars. And just the other day, he posted that he's diving into the XRP rabbit hole. He decided that he actually is going to invest a significant portion into XRP. He believes it could revolutionize the banking system. His next post, just a day after, then goes over teleporting to $200 per coin. The administration would be able to pay off its $35 trillion in debt, a whole new financial system, Ripple at the center of everything. And that also sort of ties into the national debt year by year. It's continuously increasing. Capitalist has to deal with the world of hard numbers. The verbal and visual are important, but ultimately secondary to numerical. Here we're seeing $36 trillion in national debt. As James Wynn actually points out, imagine if XRP was to be at the center of our financial ecosystem. If you check the first link in the video description, you'll see I partnered with WEEX, a top crypto exchange, and they're actually giving you a $30,000 welcome bonus as a non-KYC exchange. So check that link in the description. We've also got from Phil here, nobody's talking about this, but the XRP's ledger's secret strength is that it's trivial for banks to develop and use it. So what there is actually understanding is it's super easy for banks to understand the overall coding behind XRP ledger. So every developer in the world can use this financial industry. Coding for XRP-L is totally different to other blockchains. It's simple. You don't need to learn other languages. It's basically just API calls. Really important piece of information I want to cover. We're nowhere near the lows, but look right here. Our current fear, we're nearly sitting at all-time lows in our overall fear for this crypto cycle, because XRP is literally so close to continuing into all-time highs. This fear, when we're actually coming into these strong support levels, especially basically being in a form of a trading range for XRP for quite a while, we've really been failing to break below, failing to break above for this short 6 to 12 month period. But overall, at these complete lows, doesn't make any sense that we're 24 out of 100 in terms of overall greed. Why are people still hating on XRP when a White House rep said tens of trillions are headed into crypto that solves real world inefficiencies? Ripple Swell 2025 said plainly you'll be looking at market caps in the tens of trillions tied to platforms integrate into real finance and unlock global efficiency, taking over standard custody and trust. Ripple is not building towards relevance. It's already acquiring the legacy system and plugging it in directly to the XRP ledger. Every one of these being wired into the XRP ledger. So very, very bullish. What's the question? Can XRP go to $5, $10, or $20? So this was a conversation that was actually had recently at Ripple Swell 2025. Donald Trump also predicts that the US economy could receive an injection of $20 trillion. So we just saw the national debt was nearly 40 trillion. So basically saying a 50% increase in the overall injection, which where does all of this money always go? It goes into gold, goes into stocks, goes into real estate, and most importantly, it heads into crypto. We also see Epic and XRP RWA now partnering and on the Apple developer program. Apple powers 1.5 billion devices worldwide, so getting direct access is big. So we're not only seeing XRP, but we're seeing within the ecosystem other projects building on top of XRP. Also, altcoin season is very low. Everybody is still in Bitcoin season. So if we were to get one last major run to highs, it would be very, very bullish for altcoins like XRP. As just stated, we've been in a form of a trading range, which is quite bullish. A lot of times when you get huge breakouts to the upside like we just had, Ripple going from 50 cents to $3.50, we made, 700% gains to the upside. It makes sense that price is going to stabilize, but after this stabilization, the highest probability play is then that continuation in the overall breakout of the trend or even the overall direction of the exponential moving average, like we see here, our orange average moving line. But really what's most important and what we can point out is how far below are we to the exponential moving average. See, when we measure where the EMA is, this orange line, current price around 15%, 20%. If you go back and actually measure, so let's even measure this. Last time we popped way above the EMA, came back, retested below, and then continued up. We had 25% spikes below the EMA. Even in this region right here, when we scroll out, this was during the last bull run. Let's even look. It's quite consistent to have 20, 30, and even 40% dips below the EMA before you then get the continuation of a trend, especially in very volatile altcoins like XRP. We do have a lot of that extra news. If the XRP ETF was to come online, it just continues to scoop up a lot of the online demand for XRP. We're going to see continuous supply being bought because there's going to be institutional investors, going to now be sophisticated investors. You will find that there is a lot of people in just the normal TradFi, in just the normal stock realm, and they're really not interested in actually jumping into crypto, but they're interested in investing. And if they're able to invest in traditional methods using the stock market, it's extremely, extremely bullish. I know from personal experience, people that are in that exact same boat, they don't want to get actually dive their feet into crypto and understand everything about the wallets and private keys and all these types of things and security. They'd rather just have access through their already traditional methods that they've been using in the past or using for literally the last 40 and 50 years. It's very hard to change a boomer's mindset. So there we have it for XRP, all of the latest news, current price action. If you have enjoyed the video, smash the like and subscribe because I'll see you in the next one.